Hey guys, my name is Abhishek and welcome back to MBBS Treasure Channel. Today we are going to discuss the first topic of ENT, that is the method of examination or investigation of ENT organs. So let's begin our today's topic. So guys, today we are going to begin the subject, that is ENT, and under ENT we are going to first of all discuss the first topic that comes under it, that is examination or the procedure of examination or investigation of organs coming under ENT. First of all, you should have a knowledge that what do you mean by ENT or what is this subject is all about. ENT is nothing but it's a subject or that scientific study that is relating with anatomy, physiology and all kinds of pathology relating to the ear, nose and throat organs, and it is otherwise also known as AutoRhinolaryngology, because auto means same as ear, rhino means nose and laryngology represents the throat. So overall, this AutoRhinolaryngology is the total examination or the total scientific study of ENT. Okay, so in this video we are going to discuss that if a patient is coming to the doctor and he asks to examine him or examine her about the ENT organs, then what are the procedures that the doctors should follow? That is the first prior informations that you should know about the ENT. Okay, that's why we are going to begin the subject with the process of examination or the procedure of investigation of ENT organs. Okay, so what are the basic requirements or the instruments that are required in the ENT? These are illuminating lamp, and the second one, the examiner should have the head mirror. Okay, the illumination lamp means the room or the examining room should be properly enlightened enough so that we can see each bit of abstractions or each bit of foreign substances in the ENT organs more clearly. And head mirror, this is the structure that I have drawn. It's a kind of head mirror and it is according to the right-handed observer. Why right-handed observer? That I am going to explain all this in these videos. Next, what is a head mirror? It is held in front of the left eye of the right-handed observer. It means if the examiner is a right-handed person, then the mirror should be held in front of the left eye. And it has a concave mirror with a pupil in its center. First of all, it has a concave mirror, and second thing, it has a pupil in its center. Here you can see it is a concave mirror, that the black circle represents the concave mirror with diameter of 90 mm, and inside it at its center it has a pupil and its diameter is 13 mm. Okay, so here it is the structure of head mirror that represents in front of the left eye of the examiner. Here you can observe the right eye, but why the right eye is not present with the mirror? Because we need to see or observe the ENT organs with our binocular vision. That should be, the mirror should adjust with our own eye. Next, the angle between the line of light and the line of sight is reduced to 0. By the uses of this head mirror, we can reduce the angle between the line of light and line of sight, and it should be reduced to 0. For proper vision or for proper examination of the ENT organs, this angle should be 0. Why? And what is this line of light and line of sight? Listen, here you can see it's a structure that I have made. It represents that this is a chair for the patient and this is a chair for the examiner. Here you can see it's a lamp, here it's a ear, and here it's eye of the examiner. Okay, so what happens If the line of light and line of sight will not be zero, then the observer or the examiner that is going to see or observe the things inside the ENT organs will not be clearly visible, because the lamp will reflect and the light from the observer will come to the eye, and if the angle will be not reduced to zero, then we cannot have a proper vision. That is the requirement, that there should be proper illumination in the whole room, so that we can identify each disturbances in the ENT organs. Okay, and more specifically, why this angle should be reduced to zero? Because there will be minimum shadows inside the ENT organs and maximum illumination. By making this angle to zero, we can have these two good effects for proper vision. That's why we require the angle should be zero. Next, what is the relationship of the patient, examiner and the lamp? Lamp represents the illumination. So here comes a patient to you, and the examiner will ask that there should be a proper decorum that the examiner should follow while examining the patient. So what is that relationship? We should know that. So the patient sits on a revolving chair in which the patient can be set to different sides and different heights. It can be rotated to different sides, and it can be increased with the heights, so that we can have different kinds of ENT observation or ENT organs examination. Then the examiner should sit one hand distance from the patient, and the lamp is placed little bit left and behind the patient left ear. Here the patient is going to sit, and in front of it the examiner should sit, and to left little bit behind the lamp should be placed. Okay, this is the case in which the examiner is a right-handed person. If the examiner will be a left-handed person, of course the lamp should be placed in the right side of the patient. Next, the examiner's eye and the source of light should be in the same horizontal plane. As I have explained that why these things are required, because the angle between the line of light and line of sight should be in the same horizontal plane. The examiner's eye, this is the examiner's eye, and the source of light should be in the same horizontal plane. Okay, and this is the ENT organs that should be located, and that should be properly observed if the angle will be zero. Okay, if the angle will deviate from zero, then we will have some blurred vision. Even if we have proper illumination in the whole room, or with the help of lamp, even if we have proper illumination, if we are not going to set the head mirror, then what will happen? We will have blurred vision. So that is the requirement of the head mirror with proper illumination lamp with proper diameter, and the angle should be reduced to zero. Then only the source and the examiner's eye will be in the same horizontal plane. Next, the patient should face straight for nose and throat examination, it's obvious, and for side for ear examination. Okay, now let's talk about what are the ENT actual examination and what are the sequence. If a patient is coming and the examiner should examine the patient, so what are the sequence through which the doctor is going to follow the order in which the doctor is going to follow. So what are the sequence of examinations and what are the instruments that are required for the ENT examinations? So first of all, the doctor should follow the autoscopy, then anterior rhinoscopy, then meso or oropharyngoscopy, then epi or nasopharyngeal, then comes finally the hypo or laryngopharyngoscopy. So here you can see, as you are coming in contact with the ENT for the very first time, so you won't be able to understand this topic or you won't be able to understand these words. But I am going to help you in that by explaining all this separately in a separate video. But you should know the sequence, because this is the important questions that the teacher is going to ask you, that what is the sequence in which the examiner is going to examine the patient. So the sequence is in this manner. So what is a otoscope, and what are the instruments that are required in otoscopy? It's an oral speculum or an otoscope. So here you can see I have drawn this. It is a structure that represents the otoscope or ear speculum. Then comes the anterior rhinoscope. For anterior rhinoscopes, we require nasal speculum or a special type of speculum, that is thudicum speculum. Here you can see it is a nasal speculum, and this one is the thudicum speculum. I am going to explain its all mechanisms, how it's used, in a separate video. But for now, you should know what are the names and what are the instruments that are used. Next comes the meso or oropharyngoscopy. Oro means the oral sections, or meso means the, you can see epi, meso and hypo. So pharynx structure is divided into three parts: nasopharynx, oropharynx and laryngopharynx. So according to the different sections and examinations, the process of examination name has been represented in that manner. So after anterior rhinoscopy, there should be meso or oropharyngoscopy, means we are going to examine this first. Then after we are going to examine this epi or nasopharyngoscopy. Then after we are going to examine this hypo or laryngopharyngoscopy. And you have to remember that this laryngoscopy method has two methods, like it has direct laryngoscopy and indirect laryngoscopy. Indirect laryngoscopy means non-surgical method of examination, like in all these cases. But if we are going to examine in a surgical way, then that will be called as direct laryngoscopy. Okay. So what are the instruments that are required in the meso or oropharyngoscopy? It is spatula or tongue depressor. Here I have drawn the structure of the tongue depressor. Next, the epi or nasopharyngoscopy. It's a small diameter nasopharyngeal mirror, or otherwise known as St. Clair Thompson's post-nasal mirror. Here you can see it's written post-nasal mirror. Post-nasal mirror means behind the nose. This is the anterior aperture, and posterior aperture of nose contains the choanae. So for examination of posterior view of nasopharyngoscopy, we require a posterior nasal mirror, and its diameter is very small. And what is its diameter? Its diameter is around 5 to 10 millimeter. And if we are going to look under the larynx, or for proper examination of the larynx, we require a big or large diameter same nasopharyngeal mirror. So what is its diameter? It's around 15, 19 or 25 millimeter. Okay, now I am going to show you some instruments that I have. So friends, I have here two otoscope, and here you can see these are the otoscope, and this is going to be placed inside the external ear and for examinations of tympanic membrane. Through this hole we can see here the tympanic membrane, and this comes in two diameters. As you can see here, it's a small diameter, and it's a bigger diameter otoscope. Then next comes is the nasal speculum. Okay, so it's a nasal speculum that is used for expanding the nasal aperture. First of all, for nasal aperture, so it is mostly used in anterior rhinoscopy. Okay, it represents the second structure that I have drawn. And thirdly, I have this is the tongue depressor, which you can see, and it is used It's used for depressing the tongue. So this was all about our today's video. We are going to discuss in my next video about otoscopy, anterior rhinoscopy, mesopharyngoscopy, epi and hyperpharyngoscopy in a separate way, and its procedure, and what are the instruments, how it is used, and what are the procedures that are need to be followed in these examinations. Okay, thank you so much for watching my videos.